Everyone, welcome to PayPoCoin channel. If you are new to the channel, I hope you will subscribe by the end of this video. There has been a lot of activity about XRP in the cryptocurrency community in general. We are aware that the US cryptocurrency reserve and stockpile are currently the main focus. I've been getting a lot of queries from people and hoping to be able to respond to many of them before the end of this video. However, I don't want to waste too much time. Before we get started though, I would like to inform you all that my clothing line Tokenized Threads has formally unveiled a brand new product catalog. All of the t-shirts, hoodies, and even sweatshirts are available here. This is the greatest method to show your support for the channel, which I highly appreciate. If you want to do more than just watch the videos, I don't show you guys projects in exchange for money. None of the projects I discuss on this channel pay me, and this is only one method of generating additional revenue to support the channel. Additionally, you are more than welcome to fund it if you so choose. All I really want to do is provide you guys something for your money. This is the most effective way for me to support the channel if you are making donations. You are therefore more than welcome to go look at the clothes if you so like. You are under no obligation to purchase anything. However, you are more than welcome to support Tokenized Threads and the channel if you so choose. Having stated that, let's get started on some of the events surrounding XRP. Pierce's technology comes first. It's official, the wait is over. I'm happy to announce that the EVM sidechain for the XRP ledger is currently operational on the testnet. This is a result of excellent cooperation between the Pierce teams, Axler, Common Prefix, and the RippleX development team. This important milestone has been accomplished in advance of the mainnet launch, which is rapidly approaching. This is excellent since it will improve the XRP ledger and XRP itself through interoperability and even programmability. The EVM sidechains are also essential, of course. It should be noted that Ethereum contains a vast number of DeFi protocols, more than 1,000 and more than 100 billion TVL. It is therefore extremely exciting to be able to connect that to these other networks so that the DeFi side, the developers, and the consumers can all truly feel the efficiencies of these other networks, such as the XRP ledger. And they may use the EVM sidechains to accomplish it. This, in my opinion, will be excellent for network growth and adoption. Additionally, I simply believe that it is highly advantageous for the ecology as a whole. I really enjoy seeing this, and once more, it has some fantastic names like Axler and Peer Assist. We must therefore adore the XRP ledger and the timely occurrence of the significant updates. Aside from this, we also need to discuss the recent huge news regarding Circle, which was the company's registration for an IPO. At this point, there was some conjecture about what may happen next. The Circle IPO is now undoubtedly quite significant. It's actually as large as the Coinbase one, if not larger in my opinion. This, in my opinion, will significantly accelerate the number of initial public offerings, IPOs, in this industry. Everyone is now wondering if Ripple will be the next great thing. As a matter of fact, Johnny Deaton did say Circle, followed by Kraken, and Ripple. I wouldn't really argue with the premise that Ripple will go public this year, but we can't be sure whether this is how it will look. However, given that Brad Garlinghouse recently discussed the IPO on Bloomberg TV and stated that it is doable, but not a top priority, we are unsure if that will be the case. Actually, given the stablecoin introduction, I fail to see why it would be a top priority for them. However, I do believe that the IPO would be extremely optimistic. And the reason for this is that we are aware that Ripple does indeed sell XRP. It isn't a major secret. We are aware that it is one of their main sources of income. However, they would suddenly have some excellent revenue-generating options outside of selling XRP if they had an IPO in addition to the stablecoin side of things. Given the amount of money they're raising from the IPO and the stablecoin, wouldn't that imply that XRP sales would decline? I believe so. Therefore, I believe that XRP might benefit greatly from this. However, you need also watch the video clip on this. Fortunately, I believe that this SEC will be highly beneficial and helpful for this industry. Thus, I believe that is accessible. I believe the business has reached a point where we can think about that. Nevertheless, it is not a top priority. The majority of businesses, I believe, are going public. One thing that is really important to them is raising finance. As you are aware, we have been extremely fortunate to be able to expand the company naturally, and so are we. Since the U.S. economy is the greatest in the world, this business will ultimately be able to flourish there if it is more proactive and considers acquisitions. Additionally, I believe that the industry continues to underestimate the change from headwinds to tailwinds. That will have a greater impact than most people realize. Lastly, the U.S. market is truly open. You seem to be arguing that acquisitions are now practically more important to you than an IPO. What would you want to get and how much are you willing to spend? Okay, I won't mention names, but let's just say that Ripple is fundamentally a blockchain infrastructure business. Businesses, mostly financial institutions, purchase our solutions and will investigate alternative blockchain infrastructure firms. This year, I believe there will be consolidation. We will definitely capitalize on the excitement surrounding some of the improvements. Ultimately, the IPO is not a top priority, but I wouldn't rule out the possibility of a Ripple IPO in the upcoming 12 to 24 months. Is it a major issue that I'm concentrating on again? Not precisely. The IPO isn't really that helpful for XRP holders, aside from being another revenue-generating opportunity for Ripple, which could lessen sell pressure on XRP. There are so many significant developments going on in this space that I just don't care to ramble on about it or even speculate about it all day. However, it also places a significant value on XRP based on the amount that Ripple owns. It is highly advantageous for their company. However, let's move on to the ETF aspect of things, as Grayscale formally submitted a request to turn its private digital large-cap fund, which includes Bitcoin, Ethereum, Solana, ADA, and XRP, into a publicly traded exchange-traded fund, ETF. Thus, we continue to hear about these exchange-traded funds. They do center on XRP. We are aware that there are now more than 18 ETF filings for XRP. Once more, I believe this will be another significant event in the upcoming year. Before the year ends, I wouldn't be shocked if there was active XRP ETF trading. Let's get right to the real story, though, which is that the U.S. government might purchase XRP. The U.S. cryptocurrency stockpile on SBR is seen here. In terms of Bitcoin, this is essentially the strategic reserve. Marty Party Music shared this, and this Saturday is our event. As the 30-day period after the March 6th executive order draws near, the U.S. government is completing a thorough assessment of its cryptocurrency holdings. Within 30 days of the order date, this was now entered into the Federal Register. In order to facilitate a transfer of government digital assets to the Strategic Bitcoin Reserve or the U.S. Digital Asset Stockpile, the head of each agency must give the Secretary of the Treasury and the President's Working Group on Digital Asset Markets a complete accounting of all government digital assets in the agency's possession. This includes any information about the custodial accounts in which the government digital assets are currently held. Within 30 days of the date of this directive, the agency in question must verify to the President's Working Group on Digital Assets Markets and the Secretary of the Treasury that it does not possess any digital assets belonging to the government. We now know that both the stockpile and the strategic reserve contain seized or confiscated cryptocurrency. Additionally, we are aware that the U.S. is not currently looking to purchase any cryptocurrency. Would that make a complete change? Everyone keeps saying that the U.S. government won't purchase XRP because they have no interest in purchasing cryptocurrency. That's at the moment. That is easily changeable. We are aware that Trump made a post regarding the U.S. cryptocurrency reserve back in March. Many things have changed since then, starting with the fact that XRP was originally intended to be in that reserve, but was later moved into the stockpile. According to my perspective, the cryptocurrency in the stockpile is 10 times more optimistic than the reserve's holdings. The sole cryptocurrency in the reserve is Bitcoin. And the reason I say that is because it appears like the majority of the stockpile is made up of utility-based projects that will be used, not merely kept. Thus, once more, I continue to believe that the stockpile is more optimistic than the reserve. We're going to see a lot, though, this Saturday. There will be a lot of discussion over what the government actually owns and how they plan to store ADA, Solana,